It hurts. Now he gets drilled. Into the goal.
The Trenton Golden Hawks are buckling.
The Royal Bank Cup concluded last weekend. A new Canadian Junior A champion was crowned, and it just happened to be the team that many had least expected. A full RBC recap is coming up. This is the OJ Today. Thank you so much for joining us for what's going to be our last show of the year, but there's tons to cover today. Aside from RBC highlights, we've got an OJHL season recap story for you, plus the plays of the year, the best of the best. First, though, let's get to the RBC Cup highlights. And there was no question the Cobourg Cougars faced a huge challenge in their semifinal game against the Penticton Vees. And the Vees were the BCHL champions, and along with Brooks, were considered the pre-tournament favorites. Cobourg, of course, had qualified for the RBC as the host team. Nobody, though, was questioning their performance up to that point, as they'd finished first in the round-robin portion, but now it was sudden death with a berth to the championship final on the line. OJ Highlights now brought to you by Bar Down, official clothing supplier to the OJHL. So Penticton had dropped Cobourg in overtime earlier in the week, so the Cougars were looking for some revenge. The boys from BC had captured the RBC back in 2012 and were looking to add to their trophy case. Cobourg, though, would have been nowhere without Stefano Durante all season, and he kept up the strong play in the first period. Penticton draws first blood in the second frame, though. On the power play, Nicholas Jones parks himself out front, tips it home past Durante, and the Vees jump out to the 1-0 lead, much to the delight of their fans. 4 minutes later, though, the Cougars respond.
As they set that up, Minerva pitching in. Minerva go back, 15 seconds to go in the Cobourg power play. Minerva tried a sharp angle shot right on the doorstep. They score! The Cougars tie it up. Minerva got the puck over with 9 seconds left in the power play, and the Cobourg Cougars answer a Penticton power play goal.
Pete Campbell did a fantastic job of calling the games for Hockey TV. Penticton coming close here, but ringing it off the iron. Third period now, the Cougars pounce.
But the Vees came back to prevent any shot on net. Back to the point. Minerva moving in. He's been a real workhorse. Out in front shot. Scores! Theo Lewis picked up that loose puck. And Cobourg scores at 11:55.
You knew the Vees were going to go down swinging. Gabe Bast beats the keeper, but once again, that pesky iron gets in the way. Finally, the Cougars seal it.
Now Cobourg has control. They'll just flip it up. Will that roll to the net? Does it have enough juice? And then Roberts, he'll put it in. Spencer Roberts gets his 5th goal of the tournament.
As Spencer Roberts, named the RBC's top forward, finishes it. So the Cobourg Cougars, the team that many didn't give much of a chance to, advance to the RBC final. Afterwards, Theo Lewis, a 5-year Cobourg Cougar, talked about his winning goal.
You know what, it started on a 3-on-2 there, and a 3-on-1 actually, and you know, a lot of guys know I'm not the most skilled player, and I'm sure they got a quick chuckle when I got that puck on that 3-on-1, and you know, I didn't make the best play, turned over, but you know what, I didn't give up. We continued on that play and got a shot from the point. The puck kind of kicked out to me, and I just kind of shot away. You know, it's just you know, Robson's a goalie I grew up playing against, and a good friend of mine. So I mean, I'm gonna have that on him for a while. Just a good feeling. I kept on thinking today, I don't want this to be my last day of junior hockey. I want to keep fighting. I want to do everything that it takes to win this game and be competing for that national championship tomorrow. So, you know, I was fortunate enough to come up big with that game-winning goal there, and you know, now it's just time to get ready for tomorrow.
Penticton's a hell of a team. They've had a hell of a season. Like, so, I mean, they came out on all cylinders firing, and we've, you know, games we've faced this year, faced teams and did have slow starts. We've been very resilient and bounced back. So, I mean, I'm very proud of the guys today.
Well, semifinal number 2 featured AJHL champions Brooks taking on Quebec League victors Talbot. Brooks was looking like a powerhouse at this point and had dropped the Cobras 6-3 in their only meeting of the tournament to date. But Talbot had shown they have the power to surprise. Case in point, their upset win over Penticton earlier in the week. And now they'd have to pull a second shocker over the Bandits if they hope to reach Saturday's final. Now, the Bandits had looked like the most dominant team in the tourney to this point. Cobras fans had faith their team could pull off an upset. It wasn't to be, though. Just 4:51 in. Tyler Carangelo is the recipient of a sweet pass out front. He deposits, and the Bandits were off and running in front of quite a few of their fans who made the trip. Great to see. 1-0 at that point. Second frame now. Jeremy Belil provided us with the save of the game, maybe the week here, flashing the leather to rob Nick Perkusic. Beauty of a stop. Brooks wouldn't be denied, though. At the 11:30 mark, time happened. The one-timer out front, and the Bandits could just taste it. They were close to a finals berth, and they lead 2-0. They keep it going in the third. Bandits on the power play. Joe O'Connor one-times the Cale McCarr feed, and it's Brooks up by a 3 spot at that point. And then the icing on the cake came on another power play 3 minutes later. Perkusic just lets fly from the point. Keeper was screened. Puck goes in, and the Bandits were a happy bunch as they advance. So Brooks gets one step further than they did last year when they were eliminated in the RBC Cup semifinals, and they move on to face the hometown Cobourg Cougars in the championship game on Sunday nights. Welcome back to the OJ today. So finally, it all came down to just one game for all the glory on Saturday night. The RBC Cup final featured one squad most had expected to be there, the Brooks Bandits, taking on the host Cobourg Cougars. Now, Brooks had made the RBC semifinals the year previous and finished the regular season as the #1 ranked squad in Canada, so they were heavily favored in the final, no question about it. However, before a sold-out hometown crowd and a national television audience, Cobourg rose to the occasion on the biggest stage. It all came down to this. Now, the Cougars had beaten the Bandits 5-2 in the round robin, but Brooks had sat some players in that game. All hands on deck, of course, for the championship tilt. The teams were set, the fans were pumped, and the Cougars draw first blood. Brooks sloppy on the breakout here. Connor McEachern steals, feeds Jamie Huber, and Cobourg jumps out to the 1-0 lead before the standing room only crowd of over 2,000 at the Cobourg Community Center. But just 5 minutes later, the Bandits would equalize. Stefano Durante can only do so much here. Mad scramble in the crease. He turns away numerous chances before Connor Jean finally puts it home. And it was even Steven at 1 apiece. Now, Durante faced 43 shots in the game and was the reason the Cougars stayed in it, no question. Tons of big stops, including that one right there from point-blank range. Okay, second frame, and the Cougars nearly sneak one, and Spencer Roberts slides in behind the D here, but Mitch Benson flashes the leather and makes the nice save. Now, Brooks was controlling the play, and in the third, they were relentless. Connor Jean, looking for his second of the game, finds iron instead. It was just a matter of time, though. Finally, at the 11:29 mark, the Bandits strike. Nick Perkusic, a monster all tournament long, beats Durante to give them the lead. To be honest, it looked doubtful that Cobourg would be able to come back at that point, but with their net empty and just 1:07 left, do you believe in miracles? Absolute bedlam in Cobourg as the Cougars force it to overtime, where for the home crowd, it became truly a fairy tale ending 8 minutes and 21 seconds into the extra frame.
Kind of feels like the Stanley Cup. Not quite, but it's pretty damn close. So, yeah, it's a pretty good feeling. So, yeah.
Was it fair to say in that overtime period you guys were taking the play to them?
I would say so, yeah. I think, between every period you can hear, like, between the locker rooms, which is kind of funny, but you can hear the hype from them. And I think once we scored that goal with a minute and a half left, they just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, Lockie won the draw back, and I just crashed the net hard, and Minerva somehow got the one-timer through and managed to find the back of net, and it was awesome. I drive from Napanee every day, and I dream about that moment every day to practice and every day to the game, and it came true, and I'm going to dream about it for the rest of my life.
It's an unbelievable feeling. It's something you dream of from August 15th when we started this process, and to believe it's now, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I think we just took it one shift at a time, one game at a time, and unbelievable guys on this team. Everybody from our defense to our forwards to our goaltenders, we just came together at the right time and went on the ice and produced.
You think about it every night, what it's going to feel like when you win, and honestly, you can't write it up any better than what we just did there. No feeling is like what you think it's going to be, and this is the best feeling of my life. This is the best day of my life right here, and to share it with all those guys on the ice that are my family, my brothers, I can't believe it right now.
And at that second when the goal went in the net, it just changes in a heartbeat. You're so focused on the job and the task at hand, and then all of a sudden the puck goes in the net. You know what? I've never experienced anything like that, actually, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I played in Stanley Cup finals. I played with, going through the Stanley Cup playoffs, but that there was, I'm so proud of my guys. I think they were unbelievable. They did their families and the fans and everybody that supported them all season proud.
What a night, what a year for the Cougars, the first OJ champions in 10 years off the overtime heroics of Nick Minerva. And as Coach John Drew said, they did their fans, their town, and their league proud. Congratulations, guys. Welcome back to the OJ Today. As we take a look back at the season that was in the OJHL, there's really no question that 2016-17 will go down as one of the most memorable in league history. From stars that emerged to titles that were won, the OJHL cemented its place as one of the top junior leagues in Canada. Here's a look back now at an incredible season. The 2016-17 season was a giant step forward in the evolution of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. When the puck dropped back in September, expectations were high, and the season certainly lived up to the hype.
Well, we knew it was going to be an interesting and fun year when we started in Buffalo with our showcase and then the two big events we had on the back end, so we knew that we had a lot of work to do, but it was going to be exciting for our fans and our players and everybody involved with the OJHL, and I think the excitement delivered when you see the results that we had throughout the year.
For the first time in its history, 3 different teams won titles in a single year. And for the first time in 10 years, an OJHL team captured the national championship RBC Cup. But let's start with a look back at what went down throughout the season. New stars emerged and caught the attention of NHL scouts. 6 current OJHLers made Central Scouting's final list for the upcoming draft. Finn Evans, Bryce Misley, Philip Lagunov, Joey Berkopec, Nick Campoli, and Matthew Kellenberger. In addition, 19 former OJHL players were named to the final list for a grand total of 25 with OJ connections, one of the highest totals of any junior league in North America.
You know, we're hearing some of our guys go as high as the 3rd round here, so that's always interesting. We can move those kids on. Our scholarships are still sitting around 50 to 60 D1 scholarships, moving close to 100 players on, and that's what we're here to do, to move the kids on.
Competition was fierce from the opening puck drop back in September. Here's a look at how the teams finished up in the standings. Markham captured first place in the North Division, with Stouffville coming in a close second. Pickering, Aurora, and Lindsay are building towards the future and were eliminated from playoff contention. But they had their moments. Case in point, Aurora's 3-0 shutout of powerful Trenton back on November 30th. The East Division was an absolute terror in what was most likely the most competitive division in all of Canadian Junior A hockey. All 5 teams made the playoffs, led by the number 1 seed Golden Hawks. The Southwest Conference was dominated by the Georgetown Raiders. As we take a look at the West Division, the Raiders ran away with things, garnering the number 1 seed for the postseason. Burlington was impressive as well, finishing strong, and many thought they might meet G-Town in the conference finals. The South Division was a battle. For a stretch, the teams traded places at the top, and up until the last week of the season, the Buzzers, Canadians, and Patriots continued to battle for second. In the playoffs, the cream rose to the top. Trenton and Cobourg advanced to the Northeast Final. Many predicted the series could go 7 games. The Cougars were hampered, though, by suspensions and injuries to some key players, and shockingly fell 4 straight to the Jayhawks. As we know, though, the Cougars would be heard from again a month later at the RBC. In the Southwest, Georgetown and Oakville marched to the conference final. The Blades had somewhat surprisingly dispatched injury-riddled Burlington in 5 games and were feeling confident. In the end, though, the Raiders proved to be too strong as they took the series in 6, setting up a rematch of last year's Buckland Cup final. In what will go down as one of the best league finals in OJHL history, the 2 squads slugged it out for 7 epic games. It all came down to Game 7 in Georgetown, where the Raiders had lost just twice all season on home ice. G-Town triumphed, capturing their first Buckland Cup in franchise history.
They've put everything into this for such a long time, and I'm just so happy for these kids. And there's not 25, 26 guys with all the injuries and guys stepping up, and I'm just so proud of them.
Georgetown was a great story this year. They featured goalie of the year Josh Astorino, also OJHL MVP and scoring champion Jack Jacome, who won the scoring title on the last shift of the regular season over Wellington's Braden Storts. Jacome would go on to be named the CJHL's top forward and was a finalist for national MVP. In addition, Greg Walters was named OJHL Coach and Executive of the Year and won the CJHL award as top coach as well, the first time an OJ coach has won the honor. It was off to Trenton the following week for the Dudley Hewitt Cup, and for the Golden Hawks, revenge was sweet. With a berth to the Royal Bank Cup on the line, the Raiders and Hawks met once again in the championship. Georgetown had shut out Trenton 3 straight times, but in the final, the Hawks got the last laugh, beating the Raiders 2-1 to clinch their spot at the Nationals.
Oh, it's awesome finally winning a team accomplishment like this after losing Game 6 and 7 of the Buckland Cup Finals in a real tight 7-game series was incredible to be able to rebound like this. Not very many people get this opportunity.
It was a dramatic win, and it was interesting to have a league champ and then a Dudley Hewitt Cup champ. And the host organization committee did a great job. I know the executives from Hockey Canada, the OHF, and the other partner leagues that were around were raving about the hospitality of the town. Everywhere you went, people were supporting the event.
The season concluded in Cobourg at the Royal Bank Cup. And for some, the Cougars had become an afterthought since they were eliminated by Trenton in 4 straight games in the conference finals. But the loss had given Cobourg the chance to rest and for injured players such as Josh McGuire and Nick Minerva to recover. John Druce's squad finished first in the round robin and met Alberta powerhouse Brooks in the final. In dramatic fashion, in front of a national television audience, Nick Minerva scored the overtime winner to send the arena and the town into hysterics.
They came in as the underdogs. They were clearly the host, and they didn't make it to our finals, and they had a bit of a layoff. The town was prepared. They have some of the most dedicated volunteers. They were calling it the Blue Army. I think there was over 200 volunteers in jackets walking around, everything you needed. So they were successful off the ice before they even dropped the puck.
Captain Josh McGuire summed up the winning feeling best after the game.
Honestly, you can't write it up any better than what we just did there. No feeling is like what you think it's going to be, and this is the best feeling of my life. This is the best day of my life right here, and to share it with all those guys on the ice that are my family, my brothers, I can't believe it right now.
Welcome back to the OJ Today. After nearly 9 months of play, the season has finally wrapped up, which means we're wrapping up the show as well. It's our last broadcast of the year, but we couldn't leave you without putting together the best of the best from the last year. The top saves, hits, and of course, the goals. So sit back and enjoy the cream of the crop from the OJ in 2016-17.
Stops back in. He's got no one to pass to since the short. Here, a loose man in front. There's a shot. Little check. Takes the body and a big hit there in the neutral zone.
That one's back towards the net, the empty net, and Gorey put it into the glove of Fassel, and that'll look good for Tyler Fassel. Back the other way is Maya down the left wing. Nice little toe drag, throws it across, they score! Out to center. No, a break! Shot scores! Oh my!
The youngster, here's Kandata. Dishing to St. Ange, backdoor man! Oh, absolutely beautiful!
Kept in there just for a moment, pushed up ahead. Here comes Thomas Flack. Flack scores! Thomas Flack gets the game winner. Folks, we're going to a game 7.
1 here, Paul going to the net. There's a shot. Rebound, Paul. What a save by Baden-Horst. Holy moly, what a goalie.
We'll circle around to the point to Simmons. There's no tip on the post rebound. And Astorina runs him. Oh my heavens.
Tenth game as an Aurora Tiger. And leveled at the Tigers' blue line was Kent.
Gets it over to Lybowski. Back to Payette in the high slot. Yeah, we'll throw in a goal. This is rebound. Takamatsu kicked away by later the rebound. And he stopped that too. Oh my heavens.
Now is Evans who gets the rebound. Shot by Peel, he scores! OT winner on the power play. Mark Paolini.
Is a great two-way defenseman. Here's Campoli to Robinson and Muglen! Oh my, what a save!
3-on-1, Morgan, in front shot, oh my! What a save by the pod of LeJohn! That was grand larceny!
Oh, here's a short-handed break. Pilara already with 2 in this one. Goes to the backhand, what a save! Aaron Taylor!
Hit a man in front. Mucci got tied up. Shorts the chance. Blocked. Mucci. Wrap road track. Better from they score! Mitchell Martin, game winner. We're going 7.
There as well, coming back out. Up top, Allen off the point. Allen puts it to the net. They score! It's Silveri with the game winner. And the Hawks have a 3-0 lead.
35 seconds left. Pass goes up ahead, Jacob. Here comes Jacob busting in. He shoots, he scores, he gets it. Jacob scores, and he's the OJHL scoring champion. And he's celebrating with his teammates on the bench. Dickinson in. Over to Crocker, and he scored. Oh, it down. Oh, what a save by Cipollone. Blasby throws the goal, rebound there, they score! Andrew Core puts it in the back of the net.
The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
Back to the point, toss, long shot. The point is Silveri in front. Scores! Michael Silveri. The Trenton Golden Hawks, a shot off the side of the net. They are Dudley Hewitt Cup champions.
And that's all the time we've got for this week, and that is a wrap for the year. Before we go, I want to say a huge thank you to all the videographers for their incredible work all season and providing us with so many fantastic highlights. To the contributors who came on the show to offer their expertise week in, week out, a special thank you and well wishes to Jamie Neugebauer, Nugsy as he's known, who's moving out of province to get married. He's been a huge contributor to the OJHL for years now and for many different teams, and we most definitely are going to miss his analysis. And of course, thanks to you, the viewers, for tuning in each week. In the off season, remember, you can always head to ojhl.ca. On Twitter, you can find it at OJHL Official, and on Facebook at facebook.com/OJHL Official. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next year.